Hey guys, my name is Roshni Pillai. Welcome to my channel, Miss Neurotransmitter. As requested by some of you, the next few videos will be a step-by-step lecture narration of a Studio Ghibli landscape. I've put 3 scenes of the Ghibli studio to form one single composition. This is part 1. Grab a piece of paper, listen to my voice, watch the composition and with concentration and make notes. The products I have used are listed in the description box below. So first, I've already gone with a wash. Remember to make it really diluted. I've gone with green. Usually I use a burnt sienna or a brown, or I just block in with the undercolor, the underpaint. In this video we're going to be talking about how to do this tree here. We're starting with the tree. It's a big bush tree, a very bushy, one of those big, large trees. So I'm blocking the underpaint, the undercolor. Don't worry about the neatness, cuteness or anything, and just block in with the darkest color. Usually with watercolors you go light first and dark next, and since this is gouache and we want a more oil finish, and like I had mentioned before, we will block in with the darker color. I'm going in with a second layer. Don't worry about the neatness. We only want to make impressions. I haven't colored the complete, I haven't filled the complete bottom of the tree. So what I've done is I've made it more in the background, and so now I'm actually doing the stones. You might want to first draw with the pencil. If you're a professional artist, it's easier to draw with the brush. You've had practice, so it's easier. But to be on the safer side, you can draw with a pencil first. So as you go into the background, the stones become smaller. Not that they are small. It's just I'm trying to bring out some perspective here so that the stones follow up to the house that we're going to be doing. I'm just finishing up the background, the drawing of the background. The lighthouse is more in the mid-ground. I'm not going to concentrate too much on detail right now. We'll do that later. I can go back on the tree, but then I want that paint to set and sit. It's already dry, but I want it to sit and relax for a while so that the paint underneath also is dry. Finishing up the house. So this is actually inspired by Game of Thrones and the Studio Ghibli. So I've been watching a rerun of the Game of Thrones, and a lot of the scenes, landscape in Game of Thrones, where the Hound and Arya Stark are moving through the country, and some lovely landscapes, and this composition is sort of inspired by that, but I'm using a more Studio Ghibli style, but I'm going to be giving it my own touch. Like I said, in this video we will be discussing and talking about only this huge bush tree here. It's not just one tree. I'm guessing it's from the scene that I observed, it's a big bush of trees. So I'm going in with the lights first. I already have a base of the darker color. So now what we're doing is we're blocking in the shapes. We've already blocked in the underpaint, the undercolor. Underpaint, I'm so sorry. It's base color. So what I'm doing right now is really modeling it, and then we will work on details a little later. Don't bother about too much detail. Like I said, we want it to look like a painting and not like a photograph. So I'm adding a lot of white to the green. I have different shades of green. I'm actually going in with gouache. Filling in with some more whites, so that the shape of the tree is shown. You see where it is the most bushiest, or where it's the most freshest leaves. So I let one part of it finish for it to dry, and then I come back again to the center, and then I go in with lighter paint if I think it's not showing through, or I can't see it. It helps really if you get up, walk away from the painting, have a look, and then come back again and see where the touch-ups are required. I'm going in with the lights more. I want it to stand out. Wherever I think it needs more lights. So right now what we're doing is it's called modeling. We've already done with the blocking in. So a painting is usually in 3 stages: blocking, modeling, and then detail. So what I'm doing here right now is, this is actually a watercolor technique, but I'm not using watercolors here. What I've done is I've finished the lights, and now I'm actually giving it a sort of language, a shape, a character, So I'm going in with a dark black mixed with green, sort of darkish. I never use black completely on a painting, so yeah, right now I'm modeling the shapes. So from far, when we look at the painting, wherever we are, usually when we are actually in the woods, in the forest, when we take a look at trees, what happens is we can see a lot of darks in between the leaves, right? The most lightest colors stand out, so even in the dark. So what I'm doing right now here is I'm modeling the tree. So what's happening right now? The tree is taking shape. There is a shape, but when you look at it, you should feel like it's a thick, dense, big bush tree. So for that, we need to put in the darks. Do not use black, please. You will only make it more harsh. So I'm going in with another lighter version of green, but not the complete light that I've used in the beginning. More towards like a leaf green. So I'm modeling it a bit. Giving some shapes. Next I'm going in with a very light green. It's more of a chrome green. To achieve this, you add a lot of yellow, lemon yellow. So this helps with modeling with some of the freshest leaves. If you've observed, a lot of the trees, the first few leaves are very greenish, yellowish, very ripe lemon flavor. very light, ripe lemon color. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna continue modeling. And that is done. I've put a little yellow in between so that I can come back on it with some green, so the green will pop. So I'm adding the same green, I think much more saturated, just in few places where I think it needs a little modeling, a little shape. So always work from the background to the foreground. Always finish the background and then come to the foreground, because only then will you understand what kind of color is required, how much saturation, do you need more paint, do you need more modeling, how much detail is required. So always finish the background and then come to the foreground. It's much easier to paint that is something that is closer to you once you're done with the background. So I'm applying the same green in a lot of places, and what I'm doing is I'm giving a shape. I'm sort of making it slightly brighter. I'm making, if you observe, I'm making brush marks. I'm not really doing one full sweep. I'm doing this dabbing technique. I'm drawing C's, I'm drawing D's, I'm just moving freely. I'm just dabbing. Don't worry about perfection. Nature is never perfect. Don't bother about drawing too much of detailed leaves. We can do that really, but that's just time consuming, and this is gouache, and I'd have to use oil paint techniques for that. I'll probably cover another video with just trees. Still modeling. I hope you guys are writing stuff down. So I'm gonna add much more lighter color of yellow and white mix, little bit of green, so that some of the leaves just pop, so that they get up and come out of the painting kind of feel. I'm going in with some more lights wherever I think I want it to look more foregroundish, meaning I want it to look more like it's coming towards me, that the tree is not just one big flat ground, that it's coming more towards me than in the background. So I'm going in with a lot of light greens, a lot of white, not completely white, slightly palish. Some more whites. You see how it's sort of modeled. Anyway, I haven't followed the actual Studio Ghibli painting style. Usually I would have stopped at this much, that's it. I wouldn't have gone any further, but then I'm sort of modeling here, giving it much more detail, very cartoonish, very TV cartoonish, you know, giving some shape to the leaves, adding more darks in between. Yeah. So what I'm doing is, what happens when I'm giving these marks is there's a shape. You can see what's the shape of a certain bush, a certain big bunch of leaves. When you see from far, nothing is ever completely detailed. I mean, you see a big bunch of leaves, you don't go, okay, there are 10 leaves there. You don't know how much it is. So what's happening here is, what I'm doing here is I'm giving a shape to each bunch, so I know that it's a very bush tree. So when someone looks at the painting, or when someone's actually looking at your work, when you step afar and take a look at it, I hope you're watching it on your laptop or on your system, your desktop. The phone doesn't do justice here, So I'm sort of modeling it, I'm giving it some life. So now I've given the leaves, the bush, the tree a lot more character. So I know where, so I'm actually telling the onlooker where the tree is moving, in what direction, and you know, how thick it is, how dense it is. So I'm drawing some barks in between, so from far it looks like there are some barks. It's not just big, you know, not some big bush. So there are a few tree trunk areas where it can actually be seen. But in the dark you don't see browns. You see a lot of dark browns and dark greens. So, and then towards the end, I'm putting a lot of leaf marks in the corner, in the ends of the piece, so that we feel like there are leaves sticking out. You don't want it to look completely made up. Just some character again. What I like to do is I like to jump from one area to another, so that it doesn't get very monotonous. And yes, it happens. You know, I get sort of bored. Not bored really. More like okay, I'll come back to that. It's just so that I'm actually letting it dry. If you don't really have patience, you can use a hairdryer really. But you might not want to use it on fully wet, where there are puddles of paint on the paper. The paint will move and make unnecessary marks. All the products will be listed in the description box. Please don't forget to take a look. This is actually the finished piece. Thank you for watching. Part 2 will be up soon.